sometimes the story behind the story and the depth of the story in the Torah, you have to scratch into the surface and the Pshuta shall make it to the story to see the wow. But Pshuta shall make it. So we're going to do a Rashi Sikha, which is directly connected to the Rashi Sikha we did last week. So let's read quickly. The end of the Parsha talks about last week's Parsha, how there was a miraculous victory against Sichon against Oig. There's the last two stories in the last week's Parsha. And let's just read the last four psukim of the last week's Parsha. Just like by Sichon, the Eibush said, I'm going to make a miraculous thing. Instead of the Jews going to every city and every town and fighting, the Anshe Milchama came to one place and he didn't kill them in one knack, and that was it. Don't be scared. He's in your hand. It's called Alamai. Now in your hand, he is in your hand. His nation is in his hand. His Artsai, the whole land. You should do to him. Good. We'll get to this Rashi. There's an important Rashi there. Next week's Parsha, this is this week. Balak sees everything that's happening. He sees what's happening. Moav is terrified. Terribly terrified. There's a big nation. They're big means they're mighty. They're big in number. They were so terrified. So Moav asks, the elders of Moav ask the elders of Midian, was tutman? Was tutman there? Rashi says, so what's the power of this man? They said, oh, koiche befiv. Balak ben Tzipor melech leMoav beisa. He and Balak ben Tzipor was the king only beisa. He, Rashi said, because really he shouldn't have been a melech Moav, but because things were a little chaotic with the Eden, so they decided to appoint him a king.
A kiftach, some style.
Right, exactly. V'yishlach malachim al Bilam ben Bar Pesoda, and Bilam is sitting in Pesoda, and Balak sends messenger. He's sitting in Pesoda Shalom Nord, Eretz b'nei Hamed likar Eloi. It's the same. Balak comes from the same nation as Bilam. And he says, "Hine am yotzim mitzrayim in echisas ein ord v'yoshem emuli." He's sitting, and he's going to wipe me out of this earth. V'atal choreli es omazeh u ki otzmo men ulay ochel nakaba v'kashenu min haaretz. That he was asking that the Balak should curse the people, and therefore
Bilam did not see what Balak see, that they fought with the Sichon and with Og Melech HaBashan and the war. Only Balak saw it?
He was a prophet. He was not a king.
The people of Moav were not scared for whatever reason. They were out of the loop. Moav was not thinking that the Yidden are coming to them. Moav for some reason were thinking the Yidden are coming against them, which is a good question. Why were they thinking the Yidden are coming against us? Ammon and Moav. So here is Moav. We're not talking about Ammon, but okay, maybe Ammon.
So
I don't know.
Balak is the head of Moav.
Moav, yeah. And Moav is scared. He's asking why Midian is not scared.
Okay, Midian, right.
He's asking why Midian is not scared. The Sheilos is double Sheilos. Midian, the Yidden never asked anything, never said anything. Moav, the Yidden asked, could we please go into your land? They said, no, nicht is nicht. Nicht is nicht. Hasta la vista, gegangen weiter. So what are they scared about? The Yidden said, can we come in? Come in? They said, no. They said, they went away. So why are they scared? Okay, so we'll talk about this soon. Moav wasn't scared. I'm sorry, Midian was not scared, but Moav was terrified. Moav was terrified. So he said, he said, messengers, Ato orderly asamazeh, lachona orderly asamazeh, otzamoy men ulei ochel nakabeh v'kashana men oretz. Yodaita shetavorech v'avorech v'shetoh yuah. This is the story in the Pasuk. Zogt Rashi, Pirush Rashi, Vayar Balak ben Tzipor eis kol asher aseh Yisrael hamoiri. This is the quote. These are words of Rashi. That Balak ben Tzipor sees everything that Yidden did to the Moiri. Omar, he says, Eilu shnei malachim, these two kings, sheinu betuchim alayim. We had trust in them. Lo yomdu b'fneim, they didn't stand up against the Jews. Onu us, halachas kama v'kama, for sure we won't stand up against the Jews. Okay. So the Gurari and Mefarshim say, what is Rashi trying to tell us? That you should know that these two psukim are not two separate things. The first pasuk, second pasuk, Vayar Balak ben Tzipor and Vayogar Moiv are not two separate things. That there's only one hemshech. Why would you think that they're two separate things? I mean, how would you read it otherwise? Vayar Balak ben Tzipor es kol hashas Yisrael amoid. Balak sees, and then Balak started drinking Kool-Aid. A new pasuk, Vayogar Moiv, no connection. I mean, if it has no connection, why is the pasuk talking about it? It's time to tell you that before he started drinking Kool-Aid, you should know that he saw something on the television, he turned off the television, and he started drinking Kool-Aid. Versteht sich damit, das ist ein Hemmschicht. What do you think? Why would anyone think otherwise? And Bechlal, Rashi usually when he has a problem in a pasuk, he quotes one or two words, the main problem. Here he quotes the whole pasuk. And what is Rashi saying in the Pirush? Strange thing. He says, Eilu shnei malachim, these two kings, shina betuchim aleim. What is Rashi saying? You just read it quickly so you don't notice the problem here. You should say, Eilu shnei malachim, these two kings, shehoyu achi chazokim ba'olam mamish, afil sicha in molayatushim, ein kol beyeh chayla lekoivsham. Chazal say if there was full of mosquitoes in the city, the Jews couldn't conquer them. That's how powerful the city was. What does it mean? Betuchim aleim. We trusted it, didn't trust. What's an agay? Yeah, trust, not trust. He's trying to say a kal v'chomer. Kal v'chomer goes like this: these guys are championships. They're unbelievable giboidim.
Moab.
That's a Moav should say. Wow, Sichon and Oig. These are Mike Tyson. They lost the battle. We little schnooks are going to lose the battle.
Nothing.
So, but what does it have to do with these words? Elu betuchim aleim. We trusted. Well, we should say that Elu shnei melochim shem chazokim gedolim. The chazokim, they're very strong, and they lost. Yeah, what does it mean betuchim? We say betuchim. What's it
Maybe
mean?
betuchim means.
Like we spoke about insurance policy this morning.
Maybe betuchim means when they come against us, if Sichon and Og will not be loose, they will come to our help, to our aid. Now we were betuchim they will come to us, but now they lost.
Very good.
They cannot come.
So then he should say that. So what is all halachas kamagami? She'ena shem malachim shina betuchim alayim loyim lifneim achshav k'sheyilchemu banu v'lo yabu lazar lanu onu nir gehakte herring. What's the kavachayim means that this guy is strong and he lost. So how am I going to stand the chance? What's the kal v'chomer here? And if there is a kal v'chomer, where did Rashi see it in this pasuk? What did Rashi see in the words here that there was a kal v'chomer here? What was the kal v'chomer here? What did Rashi see in this
How
pasuk?
Rashi see it?
How did Rashi see it? Exactly. How did Rashi see it?
And also here is in fighting, and here is in war.
Yeah, that's what later Rashi says that they asked that what's koichem bepeh. So Rashi, the Rebbe says as well, Bepashtus, if you read the pasuk and you think about it a few times, you would think that the two psukim are two separate things. If you think about the pasuk, the Parsha, but if you think about it, even a child looks, everything is different. The first pasuk is Balak, the second is Moav. First pasuk says that the pachad was as kol hashas Yisrael amoidi, and the second is mipnei am kiravu. It's like, what's going on? Here is Moav, here is Balak, here. So you would say, what's going on? It's two different things. So you'd say, Taka, there's two different things. There's totally two different things. And Taka, two different things. And Rashi has to explain what's going on over here. What's the connection? There's two different things. There's Balak and there's Moav. This is what Balak sees and this is what Moav sees. Balak sees what Moav doesn't see. Moav, one doesn't see the same as it. They're looking at the same thing. They're seeing totally different stories.
But Balak was the king of Moab. I don't understand.
So Pshat is like this. Pshat is like this. Sagt der Rebbe, Moire de Kavod. It says that the Yidden are sending a message to Sichon. Please, can we go through your land? Sichon says, are you kidding? Kol atzmi, why am I sitting here? You know why I'm sitting here? Any Yoshev kana l'shamra b'fneichem. V'atam oimrim kach. I get paid every year. I get paid as Amoin, Moav. They all pay me money that I should protect them. Are you crazy? I get paid to sit here. So, wait a minute, Sagt der Rebbe. Wait a minute. Are the Yidden that dumb? He's getting paid. He gets paid unbelievable amount of money. He gets his in order to protect the other nations. So the Yidden, when they send them a message, how could they ignore it? They should say something. You know what? We're going to pay you more money. But or do you think that money's worth anything? Because if you're going to whack you, you're going to be dead. All that money's not going to be worth anything. Say something. Address the issue. Here he is standing a guard in front of the school. He's standing like there, armed to the teeth, and a terrorist wants to go in. He says, "Stop! Why should I let you in? Why should I let you in?" says Sichan. "I'm getting paid. I'm the armed guard." So, what's the pshat? Obviously, the pshat is that no one knew about it. Do you think every nation wants to hang up a sign on the thing and tell the whole world, we are weak? We know we're weak. We have a military that defunct. We don't trust our generals and we don't trust our military. But we pay the United States. They don't do that. Europe doesn't do that. They say, "What's a great central duty? America think that they're doing. What does America think they're doing? They're not spending diddly skadoodle on their military. America will. Another Hitler comes. America will take care of it. When America all of a sudden has an opinion, Iran, we want to do business with Iran. For us, we can
how dare you tell us to pay more than 1% of our GDP?
Exactly. And how dare you tell us not to do business with Iran?
Right.
Let Iran exist. There'll be a problem with Iran. America will fight. It'll be America's blood, America's money. That's the way business politics is. You think it's changed? Do you think Moav, it was any difference, Moav and Ammon and Edom and France, Germany and Italy? Nothing changed. Do you think that they were telling the whole world, you should know that we pay money to Sichan? Because Sichan ain't no fool. Sichan ain't no Obama. And Sichan says, listen, you want me to protect you, you're going to pay a fair share. They didn't advertise it. The Welt hat nicht gewusst. No one knew this. The Yidden didn't know it. When did the Yidden find out? When they tried to make Shalom with Sichan, and he said, you think I'm going to let you walk through? He spilled the beans. So obviously no one knew this. So now like this. When Moav sees Kiravu, a big nation, they're terrified. They're terrified. They don't know that Sichan and Og care about them. Sichan is always fighting against the Moedi. They took away half of their land. Why would Sichan want to protect them? They don't know the secret that yes, yesterday we had a war and they took away half our land, but right now we're paying heavy taxes to them and it's worth their while to protect us. They don't know that. But Balak is the king. He does know it. No, he knows. So Moav sees as Kiravu. He sees a big nation. They're strong. They're terrified. But they don't say a word. Because Balak the king is smiling. He's sitting around. He's eating cookies. The garnish. So if he's not scared, what could they say? There's nothing to talk about. The king is sitting and he's calm. But all of a sudden, when Balak sees something, Balak sees, hey, these people that are betuchim aleim, they were out. They're knocked out.
Our security system doesn't work.
The security guards are both killed. They're out. Now he starts to tremble. First of all, why does he start trembling now after Sichan and Og were killed? After the Jews had the miraculous victory against Sichan, he wasn't scared. If the Kal V'chomer was, if the fright is Kol Asher Asa Le'Moidi, you could say Le'Moidi means that one of the kings of Amoidi. And Emuktem Muche B'Torah, and you say a little doichik, that the Torah wants to tell you about the war of Sichan, the war of Og, and then, but really he was scared. It's a little bit of a doichik. It's a little bit of, and also, the Torah says Amoidi, Mashma, both. So why was he only scared?
Both.
Balak, it says, the Pasuk says, Vayar Balak Mentzipa Eskola Shas Yisrael LeAmoidi. Amoidi is the general name for two kings in Amoidi. There was Sichan and Og. They were both part of one nation called Amoidi, and one part of the nation was under the rulership of Sichan, and the other one under Og Melech HaBashan, but they're really part of one nation called Amoidi. Why was he only scared after the Jews killed both kings of Amoidi? When they killed one king of Amoidi, didn't they prove their muscle? Didn't they prove that they were strong? So Rashi says, it wasn't that he was scared that the Yidden are powerful. There was a different thing. He was scared because of a different issue. He was scared because he was paying taxes to 2 guards. When they knocked out the first guard, they was like, "Nish gefährlich. We got another guard." Sichon is a big guy. Okay, but Oig is bigger than him. So we still have Oig protecting us. But as soon as the Gidon killed not only Sichon but also Oig, he started to shake like a leaf. That's why Rashi quotes the whole pasuk.
Nice.
Rashi is bothered. What's going on over here? Mitnamol now, he's scared. Why is he scared now? And what's up shat? It's kol ha'sh'asei sola moidi. So Rashi teaches, moidi means both malkei moidi. And not because they were strong. It's Eilu Shnei HaMalachim, these 2 kings of Amoidi, Shayinu Betuchim Aleim. We paid insurance. We had life insurance. We had war insurance. We had no strong military, but we paid our fair share to America, not like France or Germany. They paid like Tatalach, like this president wants them to pay.
But I have a question. But Hakadosh Baruch Hu said we can't attack Moab. In Dvarim it says that we can't attack. Moab is one nation that we can't attack. So why were they so afraid?
Very good question. Get that in a second. Very good question. Why were they afraid? So first, let's do this nakuda. Zok the Rebbe like this. That's the hemshech here, the 2 psukim. The people of Moab, they were scared. Parsha, they saw a big nation, but they can't say a word. But after Vayar Balak ben Tziperes Kol HaSh'asei Yisrael Moidi, that they knocked out the Shnei Malachim, Asher Yinu Betuchim Alayim, he started to get scared. But he was a tippish. He started to talk. All of a sudden, he's told everyone, "I'm terrified." As soon as he opened his mouth, it was a floodgate. All of a sudden, all the Amoidi started to speak. All the Moavim started saying, "Yeah, we've been scared from yesterday because we see this nation Kiravhu." And all of a sudden, the Ziknei Moav speak to the Ziknei Midian, and then Bilam, finally, Balak steps up to the plate, and he sends his messengers, and that's how the whole Parsha unfolds.
I don't understand one thing. How come Balak wasn't the king in the beginning of this story?
He was.
No.
Even if he wasn't,
No,
but he was. Rashi says from the Sichei Midian. He wasn't a guy who was a shoe
Wasn't
maker.
the head.
He wasn't a shoe polisher in the marketplace, in the bazaar. He was from the Sichei Midian. He knew a thing or 3. He wasn't a yukul in the street. He wasn't a roy to be the king of Moav, and it was because the circumstances they made him as a king. But he always knew what's going on. He knew that they're paying secretly, that these nations are all paying taxes to Sichon ve'Oig, and therefore they feel secure. But when he saw what happened to Amoidi, he started to be very scared. Now they picked him to be a king, sure, but he went around and he told his whole island, "Listen, the story is serious. It's very serious." So even though first it should say Vayogar Moav, it says first Vayar Balak ben Tziperes. It's taka 2 psukim. There's what Balak sees and what Moav sees. And there's what Balak is concerned about and what Moav is concerned about. Balak is Vayar Balak ben Tziperes Kol HaSh'asei Yisrael Moidi. The 2 Malchei Moidi that were the security blanket are knocked out. Lefikach sagt Rashi. Therefore, Vayogar Moav. Lefikach means Moav all of a sudden was like this. The king is calm, so they're calm. But all of a sudden they see that their melech is nervous. So all of a sudden they kind of started being nervous. They were always nervous because they saw that this nation is Rabu. They're very big. Now to your kasha. You're asking a shayla. L'chayda, why would they be scared? Midian is not scared. Why would Moav? Moav has at least reason to be scared. Why is Moav scared? The Yidden knocked on their door. They asked for entry. They said, no, we don't want you to come. The Jews went around their countries. So that's what Rashi is saying. That's the Kal V'chomer. The Kal V'chomer of Rashi is not the Kal V'chomer. If these strong people couldn't stand the war against the Jews and they were crushed, we will be crushed. It's a different thing. We don't know what they knew and what they didn't know, but perhaps they knew that the Yidden had a command from Hashem not to attack them. Okay. They don't know how devout the Jews are, how frum the Yidden are. So God told them, Sheilos. So God could say many things. And we're talking about a goy. Why the Jews went around us? Not because God got ahead. Because we're paying heavy taxes to Sichon and Oig. If they're going to fight with us, they're going to have a problem with Sichon and Oig. Now that they knocked out Sichon v'Oig, and it seemed like it was nothing, it was a child's play. In a day, they wiped out one king, and the other day, the other king. Their appetite for war is like through the roof. We're nothing to them. God said ahin, God said ahead, this, that. When originally they knocked at our door and we said no, and they went around us, okay, Akol Koyankiv, the timid Yidale, he was a slave for so many years in Egypt. Look, a couple miracles happened. But all of a sudden, in a day, they vanquished Sichon. The next day, oy, they don't care now. Now they're going to come against us. Now they have an appetite for war. So even if they might have known that the Eden were told by God not to enter, but they were scared.
They also had Moab had the heritage of Moab as Lot. Lot's was the one who Avram looked after and had some of Avram's characteristics.
Right.
And
therefore the Eibishter said that the Eden should not attack them.
Right.
But for some reason they didn't trust that the Eden are going to follow through on God's command. So after they see that the Eden knocked out Sichon and Oig, they thought, okay, so God told them.
What's the proof that they knew that God told them?
I'm saying, even if they knew, but now all of a sudden, it's like a pachad.
It doesn't say from Psukim because they knew that it's
right, but they did see that Yidden walked away.
That's, yeah.
So the Epizom Zegetrach, they thought that there's something there that the Jews walked away. So it's saying, even if they knew, but now, Vayar, that they knocked out Sichon v'Oig, das it's a chongem pachad. Agav Urcha, the Rebbe says that one might say a different pshat, but it's not a true pshat. One, without Rashi, one could say like this. Already Rashi told us a klal that Moshe and Yisrael v'Yisrael hem Moshe kenos yu hakoil. So we learned about this last week. So maybe these two psukim, one pasuk talks about Balak and one pasuk talks about Moav. Moav, Balak, it's the same thing. Moav speaks in when they speak. Moav speaks. They don't speak a whole. The Melech speaks for them. So Moav and the Melech is al bazach. So the Rebbe says that's not a good pshat. Rashi obviously doesn't hold of that, but it's also not a good pshat. Why? Because Rashi says it's shayich to say when Moshe. Sometimes the pasuk says that Moshe spoke. For example, when they spoke to the king of Edom, so it says that Vayishlach Malachim Moshe sent, and then Vayiftach spoke. He says Vayishlach Yisrael Malachim. Rashi says, and Noel was a Boiseach, Yisrael and Moshe, Yisrael and Moshe. That's explained why it's possible. The Torah can't say a lie. For whatever reason, the Torah wants in one place say Moshe sent, the other one Yisrael. Before we get to the reason why the Torah would do such a thing, Torah doesn't lie. Torah is emes. How could once the Torah say that the Melech Edom v'yishlach Moshe, and then in Tanakh Yiftach says v'yishlach Yisrael? The answer is Yisrael and Moshe, Yisrael. But why does the Torah choose to do this? So you can give many explanations. One is the Torah wants to teach us Hanosi Hu HaKoil, or could be a hezbollah. It depends who. When they send a message, he sends a message to Amoy, to Edom. He really wants to impress, and it says Vayishlach Malach v'Yotzienu Mitzrayim. Don't think you can start up with me. The messenger said Vayishlach Malach. Rashi says, who's Malach? Moshe Rabbeinu is Malach. You should know that if you're starting up with us, we have a malach called Moshe Rabbeinu. So you should be scared. They tried to put fear into the heart of Moab. When there was a conversation between Yiftach and the Melech of Ammon, there was a different story here. What's the story? Let's read it quickly inside. Vishlach Yiftach Malachim El Melech Bnei Ammon Leimer. Mali v'loch kibasa elai lelochem be'artzi. Why are you fighting against me? Because the Jews took pieces of my land.
You know his story.
So Yiftach sent messengers back to the king of Ammon. And he said to him, Yiftach says, they never took the land from Moav or Ammon. Here, again, In the Parsha it says V'yishrach Moshe. Here it says V'yishlach Yisrael. Right? This is what Rashi talks about in Parsha's Chukas at L'chayda, and therefore we learn from here that Moshe Yisrael V'Yisrael Moshe, because in the Parsha's Chukas it says V'yishlach Moshe. Here it says V'yishlach Yisrael. Loi Malach. The Moshe and Yisrael is Hainach. It's the same thing. But anyway, let's continue reading. V'yishlach Yisrael Malachim Melech Edom Leimer. The Jews sent messengers to Edom to say, Ebronov Artzecha, V'loshama Melech Edom. V'gam Melech Moav Shalach, V'loyov V'yesh Yisrael B'kodesh, V'yelech V'midvav Yosef, Etzeretz Edom, Etzeretz Moav, V'yov Mizrach Shemesh L'eretz Moav, V'yachlu Me'ev Arna, V'loybo B'gvul Moav, K'arna Gvul Moav. They never went into the Gvul Moav. V'yishlach Yisrael Malachim Al-Sicha, Melech Amoyim Melech Heshbon, V'yemer L'Yisrael, Anabronov Artzecha, M'koymi. I want to go back. I want to go through your land. V'loyhem and Sicha Nes Yisrael Avoy B'gvuloi. Didn't trust them. So he made it Vayesef Yisichim Eskolam V'yachnu B'yotze V'yalochim Yisrael. Yidna Hashem Alaykei Yisrael Asichim Eskolam V'yad Yisrael V'yakum V'yidash Yisrael Eskol Eretz Amori Yoshev Eretz Ayir V'yush Eskol Gvul Amori Ma'arna V'yaduk V'meid Bar Avadanor V'ato Hashem Alaykei Yisrael Hoydish Amori Nebe'am Yisrael V'ato Tirishenu. God gave us a victory. God gave us a Yerusha. So you're going to take it. V'lo Yasa Sheirish Chekhamoy Shalakech Oises Yirish. Whatever your God gives you, you take. Whatever our God gives us, we take. Haloyes Ata Toiv Toiv Ata mi Balak ben Tzipor Melech Moav Haroi V'Rovim Yisrael Nilcham the Shabbos Yisrael B'Cheshbon V'Nesev V'Adar V'Nesev V'Chol Orim Asher Yadaden Sholish Meis Shon V'Adu L'Tzaltem B'Yisai. The Jews are here for 300 years. Why didn't you say a word? You didn't say boo for 300 years. But now he didn't listen. And then the Zeruach Elakim goes on to Yiftach, and he blows the shofar, and he come and have a whole fantastic victory, and they conquer and they.
One pasuk here I don't understand.
You want one pasuk? Yesterday by the Haftorah I didn't understand the entire thing.
Me too. The whole thing was Yiftach.
Why you didn't just tell him the point? You're saying I'm a Moav Tiru B'Sichon. He never even said the point. He's saying talking. He never got to the point. Me and you know because Rashi says that the Melech Sichon Harishan took away the part of Moav. And the Jews were never allowed to conquer Moav, but they were allowed to conquer Sichon. And because Sichon originally had taken away land from Moav, and the Jews took it away from Sichon, so I'm on the Moav to Sichon. He never says it. He talks and never gets to the point.
And my question is, he talk, and what Sichon said? V'lo ha'emin Sichon et Yisrael. He did not believe. What to believe here?
Yeah,
we told this country Israel, let us go. You said no, we went around, we were nice guys, we went around. Now we're telling you, and you don't want. What to trust here? What le'amin? I don't understand why le'amin here. He said, he can say, I don't trust you. Maybe you're lying, but nothing to lie here. You ask
probably Hemin doesn't mean
what
trust.
Hemin?
It doesn't mean trust. Hemin means he didn't let. He didn't let. Pasha's Hemin over here doesn't mean trust. You're right. So, what's going on over here? So the Pashtus, what's going on? He's sitting whenever he's sitting here at the Haftorah. I always like to wonder what.
The end
he talks and talks. The friend is beautiful, but like he talks and talks.
Israelis.
It's Israelis. Negotiating. This thing. He really is trying to get to a point. He's trying to tell a story here. And the punchline is, there's been 300 years and you didn't say a word. What happened today? Because you think we're weak. So now we're going to fight against you and we have the Koyach of Hashem. And that was happened. You had the Koyach of Hashem and they were victorious. But the point was, he was trying to say like this. He's telling them a story. The Jews sent messengers to every country. They went to Edom, to Ammon, to Moav, to Sichon, to Og. And they sent the message to each one of them. B'darkei Shalom. There was a dialogue. Ammon said no. They walked away. Moav said no. They walked away. Ammon said no. They walked away. Sichon said no. They conquered him. Og said no. They conquered him. Then, that's it. Nothing happened from then till now, 300 years. So, I don't understand. We had a conversation 300 years ago. You said walk away. We walked away from your land. Sichon, he said, walk away. We didn't. We conquered his land. But you didn't protest then. You didn't say, oh, 1 second, but now that you conquered Sichon, give me back my part. Obviously you didn't. They were terrified. They were glad the Jews didn't come against them. So what are you coming now after 300 years? It's not negayah to tell them the real part of the argument. Whatever the argument is, it is. But whatever argument you had, why didn't you talk about it 300 years ago? 300 years ago, we had a dialogue. We spoke about it. We didn't land there from the moon. We didn't just come war. We sent messengers. We had a dialogue. So he wants to emphasize that someone could say, the king of Ammon could say, listen, this was just a private dialogue between, between Moshe Rabbeinu and that king at that time. So he wants to emphasize that this was a dialogue on behest of the two nations. It was a dialogue between Am Bnei Yisrael and Am Moav, and Am Edom, and Am Sichon, and Oy. It wasn't just between two leaders. He was just elected for 4 years and then he was ousted. So never mind what they spoke about. This was a dialogue between Klal Yisrael and your nation, and we had that dialogue 300 years ago. Everything was said. Whatever arguments. I'm not going into the arguments he was saying. I don't want to argue with you. I'm not going to tell you why we're here, because if I'm going to tell you why, you're going to tell me a pshat like this, a pshat like that. You're going to start arguing with why. Why am I here? It's not negay why I'm here. 300 years ago, we had a national convention. We all spoke about it. Yisrael, Klal Yisrael, Shan Shluchim, anything that needed to be discussed 300 years ago. Lomdus, because if he'll start telling him Lomdus, Am Moav Tira B'Sichon, he'll start arguing and saying that's Rashi and Tosas and the Marsov.
You know,
that's why.
There's Lahavdil though, but the Israelis say the same thing about the Palestinians. Okay, doesn't matter what your narrative is. We're here now, and deal with it. That's it. I mean, it's the same concept.
That's what they should do. They should learn from Yiftach. That would be a good idea if they learn a little Tanakh. If they learn a little bit Tanakh, how to negotiate. They would learn a little Tanakh. They would know how to negotiate.
Whether we're colonialists or Zionists that threw you out of your land, doesn't matter. We're here now.
We're here. Yandik. Asher Yerishena Hashem Elokeinu. What we're going to give you? What the Eibishter gave us? The miracles in 1967 is a Rachem Shemayim. The Eibishter gave it to us. Okay, that's the way Yiftach speaks.
Right.
So therefore, this is not a pshat. Huh?
I was just going to say something similar, that the whole thing that it says Hashiva Efendi Shalom, and it goes, if you want to make peace, give us back the land.
Right, exactly.
So, any kid who learns Tanakh can understand this whole political situation much better than the politicians.
Exactly. Exactly. Back to our sugya. So, whatever it is, there's many pshatim why in the story of the dialogue between Moshe and the nations, sometimes it says Moshe, sometimes in Yisrael. But just because you could say sometimes Moshe, that doesn't mean you always should. Just because Balak is the leader of Moav, doesn't make sense that one pasuk should say Vayar Balak and then Vayoger Moav. Elamai, therefore the pshatak is that there is what Balak sees and there's what Moav sees. Once, and that's what Rashi explains, that once Balak was a secret. Balak knew that there was two Malchei Amorim that were paying taxes in order to protect them. The Melech Sichon was like Obama. He didn't. I'm not going to protect other nations free of charge. I want to get paid for it, and he got paid for it.
Like Trump.
I'm sorry, like Trump. Sorry, not like Obama. So I'm sorry getting into politics.
That was the Obama gave money to.
It's like okay. So Mela, now we understand what's going on. This is the kicker in this, like unbelievable. Think about this. What's the difference between Moshe Rabbeinu and the leader of Klal Yisrael, and the difference Vayishiv Bishur Melech, the Melech of Klal Yisrael and the Melech of Moav? It says in the last week's Parsha, in the end, it says that he has Vayomer Hashem al Moshe al Tiraosei. So Rashi says Moshe Yora Beliboy. Moshe Yora Beliboy. He said that Oig has a big schus because he went to protect Avraham Avinu. So maybe he has a special schus. Anyway, David says, don't worry, he has no schus. Rashi explains, we learned this 3-4 years ago. He lost his schus as soon as he picked up a mountain as big. That's what Rashi says. Well, what's Rashi trying to say? Rashi's trying to say What was his schus? He protected Avraham Avinu. Now he's trying to kill all his descendants. Obviously, he lost that schus. Immediately, he lost that schus. That's what the Eibush told to. That's what the Eibush told. They told Moshe Rabbeinu.
Moshe had a war in his heart. Maybe it still has.
Sagt the Rebbe, is like, look at the difference of leadership. Moshe Rabbeinu had a pachat, but where does the pachat? Sagt Rashi, beliboy. He doesn't tell a word to. Only the Rabbanu Shalom, which is Yodea Machshav is Adam. So the Eibishter, the Rashi says, what is Altira? Altira Elo L'Mishayore. The Eibishter, only the Eibishter knows that Moshe walks around as if nothing's happening. He has no pachad at all. Because he wants to show confidence to Klal Yisrael. He has a pachad believer, he keeps it quiet. The Rabbanu Shalom addresses it. But Balak, it's fakert. Balak, it's not like Moshe Rabbeinu, maybe he should go out to the people and say, you know what, let's think about it. You really want to go forward? Let's take a census. Balak, what is he telling the people? Okay, the Rebbe says it's time to start being frightened. Why are you ruining the morale of the nation? And now they're going to be frightened. Was it sein? What can they do? To send a shliach to Bilam? That you could do without getting everyone frightened. Elamai, because the Gemara says, Harishoyim tzadikim libam b'rishusam. Harishoyim heim b'rishus libam. He had no control when he started to have pachat. He started to shake uncontrollably, and everyone around him saw that he was shaking. He had no control over himself. Hashem came. Moshe Rabbeinu, who was a tzaddik, he was the libam b'rishusay. So taka deep in his heart, he had chshoshes. He was a human being. But he was able to be koivish it. He was able to show a strong face. The Eibush addressed his moed. Sagt the Rebbe that this is a beautiful lesson for Jewish leadership. And befrat, the Shgoch Yochanan this week is a Chag Yulu Yud Beis Yud Gimel Tammuz of the Rebbe Rayatz. So there's the Rebbe Rayatz kept diaries of his entire life, and it's Pilei Ploim to read some of the stuff. So there's in his diary in the beginning of the year Tafresh Pezayim, he writes that I see that this year, he writes, it'll be an unbelievable pachat. It didn't occur to me. 1927, when he was arrested and so he says in the beginning, the Friedrich said 27. He said in the beginning of the year he had a big pachat about the year. I wasn't thinking about myself. I was scared to my chassidim. However, no one knew about it. Laporte, he worked with big merits and with big chayas, and not only that. In his rishimus, he writes how when he's arrested, he thinks to himself. He writes all the thoughts that he has. That he writes mechuyevin ahineni shaloi libol v'shaloi lefacha v'mana she'uchal lahachzik maimed shaloi losa yeminu smoil meisa sherichlati lebilti losses as goin yankav lemirmas. I have to stand very strong that the Jewish pride should never be trampled upon. So he's thinking to himself, there was a story that accidentally they told him where to go and he walked into a different office. He says, I should compose myself. That I shouldn't live on the pachat. There's no reason to have pachat. If I'm going to live, I'm going to not going to live. That if Yisurim, not Yisurim, but I'm not going to let them stab over the Goin Yaakov. That's the difference. That's a Manig Yisrael. And Taka, with that attitude, he just like by Moshe Rabbeinu, just like Moshe, the tzaddikim and every door is pashtus of the Moshe b'chol door. Just like by Moshe Rabbeinu, Taka, and that's chus that he kept the believer. David said, "Don't worry." Same thing by the Friedrich Rebbe. As a child, learning in Olei Torah, what can I read? I learned how to read English noch the Chasna. So my favorite reading is I could read Hebrew, Yiddish. What can I read already? What was around that time? There's a Rishimas the Friedrich Rebbe. It was every Rishima I read at least 5-6 times. So there's unbelievable Rishima, a story that the Friedrich Rebbe writes in his diaries that happened 2 days before he was arrested. So he was in the train. He had a Vidas at Rabbanan, many Choshev at Rabbanan that were getting together in Moscow. And he bumps into he bumps into a person who wants to talk to him. And at first he's not interested. The kid says, "This guy wants to talk to me." Turns out that this guy is a member of the Central Command in the KGB. and he's the sort of the governor in Chelyabinsk. Chelyabinsk is, next to Japan. And he wants to talk to the Frierdiker Rebbe. He was a Yid. He wants to talk to Frierdiker Rebbe. Frierdiker Rebbe said, so he made an appointment with him. He said he tells him, I'm in this hotel, Balshoy Moskovia. He tells him I'm room 16. Meet me at 7:30. He had an appointment with him. So 7 o'clock he finished the Vida Sarabonim. He goes in the side of the Red Square. There was a market, fresh fruit market. He picks up nice fruits. A basket of nice fruits. He comes into to his hotel room, and at 7:30 exactly, this Yid shows up. And the Yid says, he really has a very choshev yichus. He has a Chabad yichus, and his Eltazeh, there was a chosed Alter Rebbe, and he tells stories. And the Frierdiker Rebbe says, I'm having unbelievable pleasure because I see that the neshama is coming out. The neshama of this. And he's telling him stories, and the Frierdiker Rebbe is correcting him and telling him this prat and this way. He said, he had a Zayda that worked closely with the Tzemach Tzedek and the Rebbe Marash. And the Frierdiker Rebbe says that all of a sudden the door swings open, and there was a KGB agent that comes in with 3 soldiers, and they tell the Frierdiker Rebbe that he's arrested. And first they want to see his papers. So the Frierdiker Rebbe said that he acted very calm. He said, "Listen, you can look at your room yourself." He said, "My packages are here and there," and he kept on talking with Mr. Semenovich Bashkov, who turns out is really Meir Bashkas. And he tells him that he was a child. He lived in Orsha. His father's a Malamed. And his father sent him to Yeshiva Minsk, and he got friendly with these kids, Bolshevik kids, who were the Bolsheviks. So the Yiddish Kinderlach. And when he came back home after a few years being in Yeshiva, the parents couldn't recognize him. He was totally off the derech, and he couldn't get along with his parents. So he left his house because he didn't see his parents for 20 years. When he came back home, his mother already passed away, and his father was in his house, Nebuch, sick in the bed, and he walked into the house, and his father started crying. "You came to arrest me a second time? You can't let me my wounds heal from the first time?" So he says, "Father, this is Meir." His father couldn't recognize him. His father told him that he was arrested, and because he's a Malamed, and he felt very bad for his father. He took out his wallet with all his money, gave it to his father. His father said, I don't want your money, and I have whatever I need. The Frierdiker Rebbe says, little does Mr. Bashkov know that I send a monthly stipend to his father for being a Malamed in Orsha, and that his 2 uncles are also Malamed, and both in cities, and they're getting their monthly salary from me. If the Frierdiker Rebbe doesn't tell it to him. Anyway, when the KGB agent comes in, so they tell the Frierdiker Rebbe he should stand up and empty out everything in your pockets. And this KGB agent is a Yid, Nebuch. And he says, he tells him, I come from Smolensk. And we made sure we ripped out every Rov, every Shochet, every Moil, every Malamed. If a Malamed, most Malamed lost all their teeth. My hands, he said, my knuckles. You see these knuckles? Most of them I poked out at least one eye. And he says, 2 Malamed, I made sure that it was the 2 Rabbonim, the 2 Alter Rabbonim, and I humiliated them in front of the whole town. I wrapped them.
This is the other KGB.
This is the other KGB agent. Yeah.
There was another one was
and this, and they're all Jews, and they don't know this shit. This guy Bashkov is sitting quiet, and after he bellicoses, and he tells all his godless about how he was able to oikem ashoydish all the Yiddishkeit in Smolensk. He says, now I'm here in Moscow, and I'm in charge of this hotel, and I see that you're doing. And then he turns to this guy Bashkov. He says, now it's your turn to stand up, and I want to check your pockets. He says, so Bashkov says, look, this Rabbi Schneerson is not proficient in the Russian law, but I am. Where is the order? Where is the what's it called? The arrest warrant.
Yes.
So he says, you better get up, because soon your face will be unrecognizable. So he pulls out his documents. These people turn white, pale. I mean, he's a member of the central command of the KGB. He's the superior of their superior of their superior. and he tells him, I want to see your documents, and he writes down his information, a little booklet. He says, tomorrow morning you'll be at Central Command, and your superior, he knew who their superior, Mr. Yamelov, will talk to you and explain to you how to treat people. And then he tells them to leave, and he tells the Frierdiker Rebbe, these are just young dogs. This is not really what the Bolsheviks are all about. Frierdiker Rebbe smiles. He says, yeah, I know it's the young people. Say that. He finishes telling the Frierdiker Rebbe his stories, and he leaves. And the Frierdiker Rebbe says, as soon as he leaves, the door is knocking. He's knocking on the door. He's knocking. Frierdiker Rebbe says he's not in the mood of answering. The phone rings. Picks up the phone. It was this KGB agent. I must talk to you. Frierdiker Rebbe says, I can't talk to you now. I'm busy. I have an appointment now. So Frierdiker Rebbe puts on his coat. He really had an appointment. He walked out, and the KGB agent is waiting for him. He says, I ask you for forgiveness. You should know that I am a member of the Yevsetskia, the Jewish party. And if you talk to Mr. Bashkov on my behalf, from today on, I'm your best friend. Anything that's happening, I will let you know what's going on. Frierdiker Rebbe said, sorry, I have no time to talk now. So he says, well, you're going to fall into a deep trap of the Sevtskia. In other words, trying to tell
Sevtskia was what?
The Jewish,
That was 2 days before he was arrested.
Frierdiker Rebbe says,
Jewish what?
the Jewish wing of the
Yes,
Communist Party.
Yeah, that's
There was a Jewish wing of the Communist Party.
The worst of the worst. So the Frierdiker Rebbe says, I told him, I'm not scared of Yevsetsky. I'm only scared of the Rabbanu Shalom, and I will never do something which is against the truth and against Yosha. In other words, I'm not going to do business with you now. So he says, you're happy about my downfall. Frierdiker Rebbe says, I'll be honest with you. I can't say I'm upset, but I'm not happy. Frierdiker Rebbe walked out of the hotel, and he had his meeting, and that night he said he couldn't. He took a special taxi out of Moscow to walk in the forest for an hour, to think of, to be Mizboinim, the godless Akel, and Hashgocha Protis, that he was like, he missed like sort of a certain, encounter with the Malach HaMov. It's just like, because he punked, the right person was in the right time, in the room, with him, punked at that moment.
It was that Cholos V'Gil.
Upon him, the Zokter Rebbe, we see from the Frierdiker Rebbe what it means to be the attitude of Moshe Rabbeinu. When it comes to Melech Moav, comes to Balak, is that he's scared, he can't control himself. Mele, he's a moli fachad and yigzuz pachad. Shenken, a manik Yisrael, not only when he sees a pachad that he can control it, he understands. Moshe Rabbeinu understood that Oig might have a schus. Frierdiker Rebbe wasn't fully understood that there is danger here. But he was able to, Moyach Shalat Aleit, he was able to contain the danger, to say to himself, I'm not going to let this control, and to exude energy and excitement and chayas to the Yidden, to give them dafka chayas and their Mesiras Nefesh. And this dafka with this attitude, the Eibusha says, B'yotcha nasati yoisei. The Eibusha will help from our avodas Hashem that we should be B'yotcha nasati yoisei, and Yidden should always go B'yod Roma B'reish Glei.
How many years after was he really arrested then? He was
I
arrested.
think he was arrested 3 days later.
He was.
Yeah. He didn't care. He
He was arrested 3 years after this encounter,
yeah.
when Bashkin left.
yeah.
He couldn't help it.
Oh, so
Probably
he
was-
was 27. It was 1927.